would go there, I would shut my eyes and cry while he.
There are families and there are families. People are going through things. Who would have thought? Jite, her own dad, like her father, did. Ha!
Stop!
Jite moved from begging a man to marry her to having a sugar daddy. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Lucy's Quick One, talking Just Us Girls Season 3 Episode 2. Now first of all, I have a message to Pastor Mildred because this is another thing that people are talking about. Pastor Mildred, people said I should tell you that they are appreciative of the fact that you have extended the duration of each episode. I mean, last week we were talking 55 minutes. In episode 2, we're talking 59 minutes of amazingness. You're very welcome to my channel. In case this is your first time being here, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, to like and drop your comments. Like, let's have a conversation because people are going through things. Now, on my last episode, I talked about, Ife, I talked about Jite, Ameh, and Kayin in a particular order. Now, this week, guys, I'm going to be talking about what is happening on Just Us Girls Season 3, Episode 2, according to the order of importance from my own eye. Now, I'm starting off with Ife. Now, from episode 1, you already know, I established the fact that, of course, we know now, Ife does not like K, right? And then she used him at the wedding and all of that. Now we are going into episode 2 where, I talked about Moni in episode 1. Now, Moni is Ife's friend. And then, they were talking, and then, Ife was telling Moni that, oh, she's done with K and all of that. And then Moni was like, that's even good because, she doesn't like the fact that she was using K. You would know that Moni is a good friend. But Ife was still talking about, I was using him. Apparently, Jermaine saw him at the wedding and, mission accomplished and all of that. And Moni was telling her that, babe, what you are doing is absolutely wrong. And she's like, yeah, of course, I have already broken off things with K. And then she was also telling Ife, that's Moni, was telling Ife that, see, there's a very big gap, age difference between you and Jermaine, so let this matter rest. And apparently that upsets Ife, and then she walks off on Moni. They fight about it, and after a while they reconcile. Now that is the story in episode 2 about Ife. Now we're going on to the next character. Last week Kayin was the last person I talked about. This week she's the second person I'm talking about because these girls, like I said, they really need prayers. These characters. So apparently, I can see Kayin and Tomiwa, they're having a conversation, and then, Tomiwa tries to go for sex. And then it shows that, Kayin has always been from season 1. That she has been this girl that she's always like, I would rather wait till marriage before having sex with you. So apparently she told Tomiwa that, guy, we already have an understanding what's going on. And it's like, come on now, you're not my fiance, so why are you like making it difficult? And she's like, no, I stand my ground. It causes an argument, and then Kayin leaves the space, and then Tomiwa calls this girl that he had an affair with. Now let me give you a backstory to that, right? Lola and Andrea were established in episode 1. That was the episode we got to know them. So these girls are friends. And then that it is in episode 2 that I got to realize that, okay, Lola is that girl that, Tomiwa had an affair with, that girl that, Tomiwa was flirting with when Kayin caught the both of them. So Lola and Andrea are having a conversation, and, the pictures of Tomiwa and Kayin's engagement was everywhere over social media. So Andrea was showing Lola, like, look at your friend, look at it, that they look so good together and all of that. And it was very evident that, Lola does not like in any way Kayin. She doesn't like the fact that Tomiwa is going for Kayin. And then I was like, but I thought you were friends. But I realized that they are friends with benefits. And then Andrea is like, hope you have not caught feelings for this guy. Remember that you guys agreed to just be strictly friends with benefits. And she's like, no, she doesn't even care about them and all of that. She walks off. Next thing, I'm seeing that Lola is on her Instagram live. Now, in case you do not know, Lola is an influencer in this drama series called Just Us Girls. So she's now there on social media, and to my shock, as in this thing, it shocked me. To my surprise, Lola is there on Instagram talking about, how girls carry marriages on their head, how men are not the prize, how men are scum. Oh, she now even went as far as talking about Kayin and Tomiwa's engagement. She's like, it's not about God when, it's actually about God, I beg. And I'm like, I thought you were friends. I thought you had good wishes for this young man. How is it that now you are feeling this way and then you're talking about him this way? She just goes on and on talking about how, girls should focus on their focus and not making men the prize, because of course men are also like, going after their own focus and going after their own dreams. And I was like, wow, this actually showed me one thing that people always talk about, that do not believe everything that you see on social media. Because look at this lady talking about how men are not the prize, but you are angry at your own fellow woman that is getting engaged to somebody that you call your friend, even though on a very interesting note when you call friends with benefits. And then we have people on social media following you and saying, I stand you queen, go queen, per period. You are giving, is giving educated, is giving focused. Like, people are taking you as their leader. So guys, anytime people tell you that do not believe everything you see on social media, please, you might take the information, but do not let it sink in. Make sure you move the shaft from the seeds itself before you say you want to take it in. Now back to Tomiwa and Kanye. Now after that whole situation, Andrea and Lola were having a conversation, and then Tomiwa calls Lola, and then she's like, come over, I need you now. And then before you know what was happening, the same lady that was shouting men are scum, men are not the prize, leaves what she was doing and then goes over to Tomiwa's house, gets there, and then Tomiwa sends her money and it's like, anytime I need you, you must be at my beck and call every time. This is a man that is getting married. Now you see again why this man called Tomiwa is a walking red flag. Now still talking about this situation around Kanye, we still have Muna there, who apparently is still in love with Kanye. And my mom told me one thing. She said, if a man tells you that he no longer loves you or is no longer in love with you, just believe it and let it go. But if a man tells you that he still loves you, like he's still in love with you, believe it. And that's why sometimes, girls go for the men that are actually in love with them. So Mona is there, is still talking and thinking about, Kanye, and looking at the pictures of her engagement and all of that. And his sister is like, hope you're not still stuck up on this lady called Kanye, and he doesn't want to talk about it. But Ella is very interested in this guy. She's like, see, the violence taketh it by force. I go nowhere. This man is my man. She's still like positioning herself, trying to be in the guy's face. So, Mona goes out for a walk, and then, Ella calls in and she's like, where are you? And he's like, I went out. And she said, I was thinking maybe we should go out, go to your house. I'll make dinner for you. And at that point, Mona somehow just has this rema, and it's like, what? Let's go out for dinner. I say, Mona, you've made Ella's day. When Ella was like, are you sure? I have to go home and, change. I was like, girl, if you do not get over there right now. Honestly, how long do you think a man should wait for when it comes to, chasing a woman, or, when it comes to showing his interest for a woman? How long do you think a man should grieve a lost love? How long do you think a good man should stay? Do you think he should stand forever? And I would say vice versa. How long do you think a woman who is in love with a man should stay and wait for that man? Because I said it in my last episode that if Mona were my brother, I would also want him to move on. But I hear these things about the heart wants what it wants. Like, it can be very confusing. Now guys, moving on to the third character from episode 2, Ameh. I think it's only God and Ameh coming to terms with her problems that can actually solve her issues, to be honest. So Ameh, we are seeing Ameh again. Apparently this alcohol thing is getting more serious. She's not only taking it probably at work, she's now taking it at home. I told myself that, these girls are staying under the same roof. How is it that they haven't caught this girl? So apparently there was a time where Ameh was taking alcohol in the sitting room, and that was when Jite walks in and then she tosses the bottle underneath the couch, and then she runs off, goes to drink water, and then Jite was like, there's a lot of things that are different about you. Like, you don't cook anymore, you sleep longer, you're usually late. Like, what exactly is going on? She's like, no, nothing. I'm just tired and all of that. And Jite was like, okay, no problem. And then, later on, Iyamina cleans. And then while they were talking in the kitchen, you know how Iyamina goes. Yamina is a woman that has no filter. She just talks and she's very, very, hyperactive. So Yamina was there. She's like, I found this bottle under the couch, Ameh. I think it's your own. Oh. And then when I went to your room again, I still saw another bottle. And then Kanye and Jite are like, alcohol. What's going on? You don't take alcohol. What's happening? She's like, Ameh is like, no. She seized it from one of her pupils. And they're like, I thought you were teaching children from the ages of maybe 5 to 10 or 11. How is it that these babies are taking alcohol? She's like, yeah, I don't know. She just evades the conversation and leaves the place. And then it raises suspicion between Kanye and Jite. They're like, something is definitely going on with Ameh. And then Jite is like, maybe this girl is taking alcohol. And then Kanye is like, no, now let's give her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, what benefits? What? I mean, sometimes Kanye used to like see the problem but just tell you that there's no problem. Like, it's in your face. But you're like, no, 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 no. There is no problem. Now, last but not the least, ladies and gentlemen, is this lady called Jite. And that's why at the beginning I said it's very funny. Guys, it's very funny to see how people's experiences shape them. And it's also very funny to see how you just never know until somebody opens up to you. Now, apparently, from the beginning of the episode, that's episode 2, we can see that, hey, Jite's life has changed. She's riding in a jeep and all of that. And then she's like, she has upgraded. And I thought that, her business had boomerang, that business had gone up and she's making a lot of money. Only for us to see that she has a sugar daddy called Otumba. So when she comes in, at some point when she was in the house, back in the house and all of that, Yamina was like, oh, you that has a sugar daddy and all of that. So apparently, Ameh and Kanye go to talk to Jite like, what you are doing is not right. This man is married.
What is the future in this? Look.
So at that point, Jite was already irritated. And that was when she now mentioned a certain chief, Eduga. And they were like, okay. So later on, ladies and gentlemen, that was when I found out the story of this lady called Jite. And how her family has been the beginning and probably, hopefully, will not be the end of this character called Jite. Kanye was having a conversation with Jite about Ameh first, and she goes back to talking about the fact that she is not comfortable with the fact that Jite is going after a married man. And that was when Jite revealed to Kanye that she was molested, taken advantage of when she was 15. Now, according to Jite, her own father, guys, I was so emotional. Her own father would send her to a man called Chief Eduga, and the man would take advantage of her, give her money. Now, Jite would take that money back to her family. Kanye was perplexed. She was like, what? Are you kidding me? Didn't you report it? What about your dad? Why didn't you tell him? That was when Jite revealed that her own dad knew what was happening, guys. Her own dad knew that this man was taking advantage of her and kept on sending her to this same chief to collect money. So at some point, she said this went on for 5 years. Started when she was 15, went up until when she was 20. And then one day she decides to lie to this chief and tells this chief that her mom needed surgery, her mom was sick. And then she took the chunk of money and ran away to Lagos. That she had been the breadwinner of her family from the age of 15. How do you sleep at night as a parent knowing that you're causing your own child pain? How do you use your own child to that extent and sleep with a good conscience? How? Like, I know that everybody has their own experiences, but how is it that you would... I'm speechless, guys. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section, because I teared up listening to Jite. So Jite was now telling Kanye that all her life she has been the breadwinner of her family. Like, she has this sugar daddy thing that you accused now of has been since when she was a teenager, and then she was doing it for her own for her own family. But now that she has cut them off, except for one of her brothers, which is Tega, who is obviously still respectful and very playful. She's doing this whole sugar daddy runs for herself. Whatever money she's making it for herself. Of course, Otumba surprised her with a car, so she's doing this for her own self, and she's not sorry about it. And I was just there, staring and watching, and I was just like, wow. So guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section, all the way from Ife and how she's treating K. And I like the fact that right now it looks like K is no longer interested in Ife, going down to Kanye, and how I really hope this marriage thing does not work out. Because I was looking at her mom and I was like, I understand from her mom's perspective that they're from a certain class and she wouldn't want her daughter to suffer. But you forcing your own daughter to marry someone she doesn't want to marry is also causing that same daughter pain. Now moving on to Ameh, who apparently at the last scene in episode 2, we find out that this lady has been sacked from work because of her episodes and the fact that she's taking alcohol in school and all of that. Like, Jite is so confused, like, how did this happen to Ameh? And she's not saying anything at home. In my own opinion, I think that Jite is going to be the first person to uncover everything that has to do with Ameh and her secrecy. And last but not the least, I would like to know what you think about Jite. Like, do you even know anybody that has gone through this? Like, how did they manage this? The reason I chose this drama series called Just Us Girls is because it sheds light on the experiences and the trials that people are going through, and the fact that at the end of the day it's only God that can really save people, because people are experiencing various things and it's turning them into people they really thought they would never be. But let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section. I got you with more right here on this channel. Till next time, remember to enjoy every moment. Mwah. Bye.